God bless you. So, I was just thinking about something that I was studying about the verses that says eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burn for burn, wound for wound, and that's in Exodus chapter 21, verse 24. And I came to just to study this for a little bit. So Jesus spoke about this oral law that you know the Jewish used to follow if somebody used to do something about. So the thing is that when I saw it, I saw this. I read chapter the same chapter, Exodus 21, verse 23. Actually, verse 22nd. So it says, if people are fighting and hit a pregnant woman, and she gives birth prematurely, but there is no serious injury, the offender must be fined whatever the woman's husband demands and the court a law allows. So I was looking at this because the thing is that was for judges to judge right. And then Jesus speaks on Matthew chapter 5 about the enemies. So and he spoke about this like saying, look, listen, you guys, have you heard what it has been said about the law, eye for eye, yeah, eye for eye, right? So the thing is that Jesus was like, oh, if somebody takes wants your coat, or somebody wants for you to walk 2 miles, do it. Give it to them. So the thing is that Jesus was saying, listen to this. Jesus was saying, hey, the judges, that and they needed to do a good judgment. So that's why I said eye for eye. God was saying eye for eye. It wasn't just because they needed to take the eye for the eye of the other person. Whoever did the situation, or whoever damage the body of somebody else, cut the hands or cut the foot, and the Bible is like eye for eye. So in other words, the person needed to do the same thing. So they used to do that. So now, when I was studying it, I was like, wait a minute, but that doesn't mean that. It meant that Jesus was saying, look, they need to do judgment. Yes, the judges, they need to do judgment, but with mercy, with grace, right? So God was speaking to the people of Israel, saying, but if there is serious injury, you are to take life for life. You see? So it was something that they needed to do. They needed to do, right? But the thing is, when Jesus spoke in Matthew chapter 5, he spoke about, saying, look, listen, this is not the way you guys, needed to do things. You guys have to, it was for the judges, to do judgment. Rightly judgment. It was for the judges, to do grace and do things. Now, when you see here in North America or America, something like that, um you know the thing is, if a person take the life away from a person, right? This person, what is being they take him to they take him, right? And then they judge them, and they put him maybe for life. You see, alive for life. So the thing is, also sometimes there is a law here too also that takes the life away, from the person who took away a life. So this is, the judgment sometimes, that we have to see, or we have seen, you know what I mean? But the thing is that that's the judgment, that they needed to do. Well, I mean, you gotta look the culture, you gotta look, in order, to understand this things. But in reality, it wasn't meant, to do this, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, and stuff like that. So the judges needed to look at the person, discern what was the situation, what was going on, and all right. So they needed to look for every perspective of things that happen at the same time. So they needed to judge rightly. So that was what God was saying right there. The offender must be fined whatever the woman's husband demands, and the court allows, the judges allows. So the judges needed to make the decision of what they wanted to do. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is, then it wasn't meant to do what they were doing, cutting hands, taking eyes out, eye for eye, hands for hands. It wasn't meant to do that. It was an oral law, and it was something, that really Jesus, had to do something, had to and talk to them. Hey, listen, that wasn't it. If somebody, gives you a slap in the face, put the other cheek. If they ask you, for the coat, give the coat. If they ask you, to walk with you 2 miles, walk with them, 2 miles. So that was the perspective that Jesus was saying. You have to judge gracefully. You have to judge rightly. So that was the perspective. Maybe this is maybe you'll learn something from this. I learned some. I was studying, and then I looked at it, and I was like, oh man, this is really powerful. So anyways, God bless you. Have a good day. If this is informative, for you, just let me know, in Jesus' name. God bless.